Let's go. This is the Underground World News Live here on this November 28th, 2025. I think the mic check is good, but let's get one out the way. And thank you, Kathy, for the coffees right out the gate. I appreciate it. Much love. God bless. Right back to you. Steely sliding in with the super chats as well. And Hoodie Ross. Thank you, John Boy. Flip. Everybody with the quick feedback. Raymond, Tom, good to see everybody. Apocalypse. Yeah, it's cold here too, Sheepdog. 20s, you know. It's the coldest yet on the year. Hopefully we have a rebound. From here, the projects of NYC checking in, Scotland, Global. Good to see everybody. And plenty to talk about here tonight. I lined up not as many stories so I could go in depth on a few of them here. Because I've been like ending, at the end of the stream, we'll do a 3-hour stream and I'll still have a dozen tabs open. Like, so it's like a little bit less. D Whistle, D White in the house. Much love, my brother. You hear that, I know, and you're like, man, Steve, thank you so much, man. Relentless support. Good to see everybody. Deanne, Abba. 68 in Arizona. Look at you. Look at you. No, that's awesome. Love Arizona. Love Arizona. A little drier than I like it, but in the summer a little hotter than I like it. But much love, everybody. Jay from the Ville checking in. Yeah, man. I hope you guys had a good holiday here with the family, Thanksgiving, friends and family, or at least enjoyed the time. It's one of the few times out of the year most people get a chance to see family. Certain people, a lot of traveling going down. I don't know about you, but I know a lot of people was traveling. Milwaukee checking in. Spiro sliding in. Much love. So yeah, I see a lot of people out there dropping the temps and where they're from. Much love to everybody out there. Get this thing popping off in the space department. Let me give a shout out also here real quick to Kev Bar, sharing the stream. Also, again, D White, anyone else out there that shares it on other platforms. These are just the guys I see over on X. In my notifications, I check them, and I appreciate it to the fullest. Yeah, man. So, yeah, if you're still on the road, traveling, trying to make it back home, safe travels. Alaska checking in. Atlanta, blessings to you all as well. Yeah, I hope things are going positive. You got to start fixing the way we think, largely, for real. Our thought patterns send out vibrations and waves, and they draw things into manifestation and bring them into this reality. And if you're always dwelling on bad things and all this, stop and think about that. Things are always happening to you. You need to reset. Okay? This is for real. Reset the mental. Okay? Start reciting more positive things. You come down to your environment, the music you're listening to, anything. People with I don't know. There's all kinds of sigils and tactics out there that they use to break us down as well. So yeah, much love. We're gonna kick it off here. Up in space where we always do. We're gonna take a look here again at 3i Atlas. This thing, it's look, we covered what they're breaking right now a week ago, maybe more. Initially, the first time we caught wind of it, and then they gave us a confirmation that came out. I dropped the confirmation. I don't know. It seems like some of these people are like really late to the party on this. Just now, some of these sites like reporting that the International Asteroid Warning Network has picked up on 3i Atlas. And again, when this initially happened, we reported on it and got it out there, and then got another confirmation, threw it out there. And all these outlets today were acting like they just heard about it. I'm like, man, if you guys were just tuned into the underground, you'd done been knowing. But look, they try to continue the theme here of NASA. This thing poses no threat. Blah, 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 all while giving us garbage images. We still have not got anything of any great detail coming out of NASA. Never a straight answer. We do have a lot of backyard astronomers, though, that are capturing some really good images. And on the last video that I put out, the 3D imagery took it kind of to a different level. Remember, we're still getting closer to this thing. It seems to be moving out and away from the sun, but we're swinging around and we're actually coming toward this thing as it's heading toward Jupiter. We've got a couple weeks here up to December 19th where we're going to get closer and closer to this thing. So really, it should become more visible. A normal comet, it would have been super visible around the sun. When it went around the sun, it lit up real bright. Most of them fall apart at that rate, but this thing ejected a bunch of stuff. It seemed to have lost no mass. It adjusted course. And I think that this thing is like, it's super intriguing because, for one, it come down and went through like Mars's atmosphere ring. Like, where it could have dropped the seeds of life out there and it really affected Mars or anything. They could have dropped something to do anything around it. Just the fact it came so close, that this thing came out of nowhere, dropped down flat onto our ecliptic plane, which was nuts. Most objects just come in stray from out of nowhere. If you go over and look at Lascaux, all the sun divers, they come in from any and all directions, even though some do come in packs from certain areas because of old comet clusters that they know of. But there's plenty of rogue objects out there all day long, sun divers that just come from all directions. This thing kind of like, drops straight down, flattened out, skims Mars, and they act like it's no big deal. Like, to me, that's a huge, huge deal. And they're still acting like it's no big deal. The NASA live stream, if you missed it, was a joke. It was classic NASA. Running cover on the whole thing, like giving their garbage stories, and they seemed really butthurt. You could tell that no one was buying that this thing is a comet. Their lack of intrigue on this thing really is like screaming. Like, this thing is like as crazy as it gets. And like, we know they're sitting on good images. They gave us some garbage. Now that this thing's coming up on Jupiter, they've got Juno sitting out there. Now, Juno is a different spacecraft. They should be able to lock onto this thing like right now with Juno. The question is, are they, or what are they doing? They're not closed. Government's not closed now, so the silence is like even louder, so to speak, coming from them. And I don't know, it's heading toward what they call the hill radius, pretty much, of Jupiter. What the hill radius is, it's the boundary of magnetic pull that Jupiter has. And Jupiter has a big field, big pull. Remember on the last stream when I showed Jupiter going around in the solar system? It has such a strong pull that it pulls all the smaller rocks and asteroids into its ecliptical orbit, into its orbital plane, ahead of it and behind it, because it's so massive. And what that does is it pulls all of that smaller debris out of the inner solar system. When you see this in motion, you realize what's going on. Jupiter is like a king planet that actually, without it, we would be bombarded by fireballs and rocks and huge things constantly. Again, for those that's seen it, you know that, and you can just go research this. We know that there's a massive belt out there, cloud of debris that travels around. But when you get outside of Mars towards Jupiter, that's when you're going to hit it. And I don't know. That zone seems very special. And this is the zone. Perfect. It almost perfect it's going to be passing at the very tip of it. Atlas is on the way through the Hill radius. Just perfect to where it's not going to be affected by Jupiter's gravitational pull on itself, but anything, say, that was dropped off right at that exact point would be pulled in to Jupiter's whole atmosphere type deal. It would get caught and pulled in. Crazy. Just absolutely crazy, man. If I was trying to go into an inner solar system, we were going to do it strategic, try to be nonchalant and all, it would be just like this. It would be just like this. Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting nonetheless. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the coming weeks. Avi Loeb, whether you trust this dude or not, he's dropped some wagers and some talk about bets. Like, is there life out there? And they just made Polymarket legal back in the United States. I'm more than willing to bet that there's going to be bets on Atlas on there. There probably already is, but I don't think they've opened it up yet. I will go check that out, though. I'm interested to see. Because they've got bets on everything. Like, if this thing's a UFO, if it's going to come toward Earth, I'm sure. Crazy things like that. At some point, something's got to give here. Look, I'm not so concerned about bad guys coming in. People say mothership. People want to freak out and all this stuff. Like, I don't know about that. Like, the baddies are here. Like, this place is full of demons. Right? I mean, come on. We're like stuck here with them, unfortunately. And I don't know, man. I always save a little spot out there, some hope that there's good guys. And I don't know what this thing is, but it seems like there's intelligence added to it. I can't prove it, but all I can do is show you these crazy images and all the wild data to back it. So as long as it's still in the neighborhood, I'm going to give some updates on it. And of course, if it does anything crazy, we're technically moving toward this thing still. So when headlines out there are saying that this thing's still moving toward Earth, they're technically kind of right. But it's not like coming at us by a long shot. It's still on its course. Like I said, we're moving toward it, wrapping around the sun as it's moving its way out. The 19th is one to keep an eye on. Oh, let me give a heads up warning here. We are in the window. No, okay. Well, we've got 2 weeks here. A 2-week window, we'll give it. Candace Owens apparently puts out a post saying that she's got all this intel pointing at some kind of 9/11 attack happening the second week of December. I don't like the sounds of none of that crap, especially when they got one of their shells popping off, something like that. Let's go ahead and open it real quick and show you right there. They've been signaling that a 9/11 style attack is coming the second week of December. Save this tweet. It will age well. What, 12/11? 9/11 style. I guess anything's possible from here on out. From here on out, with little warnings like that getting thrown out there. So make sure everybody knows. What it's going to be, I don't know. But with all this crap popping off out there, staged events, staged attacks, the stripping of freedom, anything is possible. Over to the earthquake map real quick. Let's get some updates there. The sun has been very active. I don't have a thing pulled up here on the sun, but that always correlates with Earth activity. Now, the sun has been going crazy on the other side. Most of the active sunspots are facing away from Earth, and it had multiple big explosions here this past week that were just like super massive. They could have been up where in the X20 range if they were facing Earth, but they don't know exactly because they were facing the other way. But huge CMEs and explosions you could see letting off the backside. That's heading back around this way. Within the next week or two, they'll be back facing this way. All that explosion will be heading this way. So, interesting timing. Ava, birthday's 12/12. Well, happy early birthday there on that. In terms of the quake activity, we had a big one up here in Alaska. A 6. It was felt by a lot of people and did some minor damage. We've got some swarming behind that. The last stream I reported, the entire ring of fire has been active. A 6.6 Indonesia. We had 7-8 different locations where volcanoes were popping off global. So earthquakes, various places. You can see we had what's this? 5.8 Guatemala. Mexico's quiet. Whenever things go super quiet for an extended period of time, you could see some activity. I do see activity out here off the Mid-Atlantic Ridge and down here south of Africa. So I expect to see this move on up around the Caribbean, and we could actually see some bigger quake activity around the Caribbean. And all this levels up again when the sun swings back around with these sunspots. All right, keep it pushing here. And let me go ahead and give a shout out here to DJ for the coffee and Heidi for the coffee. Much love to both you guys. Hope you had good Thanksgiving as well. Much love. God bless. All right, and thank you for that information. Fortunately, I've got to report on a death here, and this is of a U.S. senator. Senator out of Colorado. Apparently dying here. I'm going to play this clip. Really bad wreck that took place here, and here's the news clip with it.
We are following a number of breaking news stories tonight on CBS News Colorado at 10 o'clock. We know one person is dead and 3 others are hurt after a crash on I-25 at Dry Creek. Northbound I-25 was closed for hours. Just a few minutes ago, our newsroom confirmed that the person who died was State Senator Faith Winter. That's according to Senate leadership and a statement from Governor Jared Polis. Several politicians reacting on social media tonight, including Representative Shannon Byrd, who posted online saying she is heartbroken about Winter's tragic passing. Winter, who represented Broomfield and Westminster, was entering her 12th and final year as a state lawmaker because of term limits. She had 2 children. The crash happened around 6:15 this evening where the interstate crosses Dry Creek Road. That's south of the Denver Tech Center. We know 4 vehicles were involved, including a large truck that was on its side when we were at that scene just about an hour ago. I-25 is still closed right now. Cars are being diverted onto the Dry Creek exit and are getting right back onto I-25 in order to get around that crash. However, it is best to avoid that area altogether if you can.
Yeah, and we got an update here to a murder, an assassination, robbery attempt that took place here with this rising Latin singer, Maria de la Rosa. Now, this took place in Los Angeles, and the county prosecutor is saying that they've charged 3 men with murder and attempted robbery in the shooting death of the 22-year-old. They say that this was an ambush-style attack. It took place on the 22nd in Northridge. 2 other people were also critically injured in this. The suspects were Francisco Gayton, Benny Gomez, and Eduardo Lopez, all of Northridge. Gayton and Gomez being held without bail on 1 felony count of murder, 2 felony counts of attempted second-degree robbery. Lopez remains a fugitive on the run still as of right now. So they set this up apparently. They were parked on Bryant Street, east of Tampa Avenue. This was late at night, about 1:25, and they approached her vehicle, and they went to rob her. And when she kind of fought, but they were like, "The hell with you," and they took off. They fired rounds into the vehicle, and that's what hit her. And she didn't survive. She succumbed to her wounds. Several people were hit, like everybody, but like 3 people were hit altogether, and she died. So yeah, it was a robbery attempt, ambush style. They thought that they would just be able to easily go up and rob these people with this girl. And unfortunate, man. We see stuff like this all the time. But they caught 2 of the guys. One of them's on the run. I would consider Eduardo Lopez armed and dangerous. Anytime someone's on the run, they can do anything because they're not in the right state of mind. And I've got a different vantage point here and updates on this massive fire that took place in Hong Kong. A total inferno as this place went up. Reminds me of another fire from here in this past decade. I forget exactly where it was at. It might have been Dubai. It looked like the building was melting, but 44 people dead. There's still 279 people missing. Is this place, as you can see right here, very similar. Look, it was just kind of melting. Debris flying everywhere. And I don't see any fire trucks. I see emergency vehicles down here. I see no plume. I see no water. None of these shots. Not a single shot. Not in still don't. I see no fire trucks. Not a single one. Not 1 ounce of water being put on this fire, which is crazy. There. Finally. Is that a stream of water I'm seeing? Something else going across. I could hear water. Maybe there they finally had some of, wow. At that rate, that place was smoked. No wonder there's so many people still missing. They just sat around watching it burn. Like, come on, man. Like, somebody's got to do something. There's a lot of people sitting around watching it burn. But I mean, what can anybody do outside the fire department? Really, there should have been like dozens of units on that thing. But I don't know. Tragedy. I have no idea what sparked it still. I'll update if I find out. If I missed anything in the chat, I'm back to the chat. And gonna update. Well, there really is no update on this. I'll just give you the initial story here that broke today. This is a Navy doomsday plane vanishing, a Boeing E-6B Mercury. There was 16 of these made, specialized, called the doomsday plane. They serve as a command and control hub for U.S. Strategic Command, the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, and Trump. They can transmit orders to carry out nuclear strikes, if need be, from this location. So it's a very, very special aircraft. Not many of them, when you see them going into motion, it could signal something's going down. We witnessed something like this in March. They were doing circles, but they didn't do this. They didn't go quiet or go dark, so to speak. So this is what happened. It was last seen crossing into the Atlantic east of Virginia Beach. And this is on the flight tracking system. Data shows that it departed the Nair Naval Station in Maryland, and it went over the Chesapeake Bay, skirted the Norfolk Naval Complex before heading offshore about 60 miles east of the Virginia Capes. It went dark. So, I doubt it was an emergency. I doubt it is a downed aircraft at this point, because you'd done heard something about it. Headlines if they have another military aircraft down. This looks like it's part of. They could very well be not just training, but they could be tracking something off the East Coast. I've got people in the military that send me information, little tidbits all the time. And the East Coast is being watched right now because it was just a few weeks, a month or so ago, there was Russian subs in the water right there down by Cuba off our East Coast. It was off the coast of Florida. It was known. They were seen. They stayed in safe water, so to speak, but they were there. They were there. They're still there. The Chinese are there. And what they just came out and said also recently was that this whole thing going down around the Caribbean isn't just about Venezuela. It is about running Russia, China, whoever else out of the entire hemisphere. It's exactly what they said. Out of the entire freaking hemisphere. Okay, so if there's a Russian sub off the East Coast, it's something to pay attention to, because, I mean, Russia just came out and openly admitted here, also within the past month or so, that they have a tsunami bomb and that they tested it. Everything went smooth. A tsunami bomb capable of unleashing a radioactive tsunami wave that could cripple an entire coastline. And you're talking multiple cities. You could not stop it. If they wanted to do this, you could never stop it. You could never stop it. They could be sitting out there right now in position, ready to do this. If you had, only thing you could do to stop it is like take out every single sub in the area before they got a single shot off to do this. But what if they weren't going to do it and you were just jumping the gun and all this other stuff? Like, most of the time, someone's going to have to fire the first shot. Like, once the shot's fired, though, even if you hit it and detonate it underwater, and once it explodes, that's what it was meant to do. It was meant to detonate, like to go off underwater. They may not get it as close to shore as they wanted, but these tsunami bombs, man, from 100 miles out, a Hiroshima-type bomb underwater will send like 100-foot wall of water toward the city, like something insane. I tweeted out that clip and I showed it on the last one. It was AI, obviously, but it was very realistic to where if like you woke up and you were in a downtown and looked out the window and you were in a high rise, you looked over and this wall of water taller than the building you're in is coming at you. It's over. Tsunami bomb. Very real. It's actually part of the sigil. I'm going to tell you it's going to happen. Source code, thank you. Look, there's a reason you can fold up your money and see two towers smoking. Because it was part of a sigil. Magic. And there's another one. There's another one. A wall of water coming in on a city. On your money. And it's yet to happen. So, yeah, whatever ever happens with these events, there's always a bad guy to point the finger at, right? So, I don't know. When I see them off the East Coast in a territory where we know Russian subs are lurking, it's direct confrontation. And Russia's been skirting, our West Coast too, by Alaska, really close. The Chinese have as well. They've been trying to flex. I think it's an intimidation tactic as well because of everything with Taiwan and Ukraine. If we weren't messing around with either of those fronts, maybe they wouldn't be out there lurking. But I don't know. The world is a stage. And somebody's got to take the blame for America going down. Someone has to take it for the history books. Someone has to, take the accolade. Like they were the ones that did it. They were the ones that put the lights out in America. Someone's gonna willingly accept that, take that, pridefully take that, and they're probably gonna catch a nuke for it. Because even if the lights go out and they shut down this whole country, that doesn't stop the subs that are lurking out there. That doesn't stop the bombers that are flying, the satellites with weapons. Now, somebody's getting hit. There will be a retaliatory hit. And I for a long time, I thought that it was definitely going to be North Korea. And it still could be. They're active with the whole Ukraine thing. And they've been running their chops since Trump's been back in there a little bit. Just kind of like, we're still over here. There's prophecy of the Korean Peninsula seeing a mushroom cloud, like a nuclear event. And I always thought when North Korea got caught putting the Shining Star satellites up in space, they kept saying those things are EMPs. Those things are EMPs. And they're at the perfect height up in the sky. Perfect. And our military never shot them down. And I always thought, man, are these guys the scapegoats? Like, you're sitting there telling us, like, there's suspected EMPs on these satellites floating around up there, and you guys never bothered, take them down, shoot them down. Nothing. It just seems like you guys are like letting it happen. Again, it's all set up. Source code, much love. I don't know, man. We get hit. Dude, we're like all hands on deck, man. All the signs are there. We're in a window to get hit right now. That's for sure. And this is made for crazy times. Thanksgiving is now one of the most dangerous holidays in America. Or period. Yeah, this is according to all the alphabet gangs. It surpasses Christmas, Memorial Day, even the 4th of July in several key danger categories. Yep. Thanksgiving is the most dangerous U.S. holiday. 388% spike in home fires. Like, what's going on there? Thanksgiving week car crashes. Now, I could see this because there's such an influx of people on the road. They killed 2,525 people in 2020 to 2024, more than any other major holiday. 40% of all injuries on Thanksgiving Day come from structural fires. That is just nuts. What is going on with fires on Thanksgiving Day? It's getting out of hand in the kitchen, on the grill. I mean, come on now. Most people think of it as a low risk holiday, but the data points to the opposite. It's the risk is. So, wow. Yeah, they say that between rushing around for travel, long cooking hours, unfamiliar foods, and curious pets, it's a perfect storm for accidents. Yeah, I guess I could see that. Yeah, a lot of people trying to move around the kitchen, turn around, trip over a dog, spill something, fire goes, boom. Yeah, I could see some things like that, but wow, not that much. That's a huge jump. Let's go to the markets. There was global chaos this morning, and I'm talking early. Like, it was like 8, 9 o'clock. It was even earlier than that. Like, it was like pre-market hours on futures and everything else. Everything flatlined. This went global. They said there was a CME outage. It halted all future trading. So the markets are set for a monthly loss. This was suspect. I'm telling you, man. You're going to wake up one day and the whole market's going to be like this. Like glitching and like inaccessible. You're going to start to see things tanking and you're not going to be able to sell. And everyone's going to get the shaft and get left holding the bag. I've warned you about this forever. In all reality, they're already doing it systematically. They've been taking these chunks like they did here recently, the huge dump in the market. There's little 5-10% dump downs, chunks, and that's what they're taking. They're taking out of people's pockets. But there's a lot more going on than just that. CME reopened and they said that it was a cooling issue. It's like every time something happens here, they always got some garbage excuse here that it's some kind of little glitch or something, you know, when a lot of people are saying, man, it seems like these places are getting hit. They're getting targeted because these are critical places. You hit them one time and like it causes mass disruption. We saw it with the whole thing here recently with Cloudflare and then AWS and all that. Just hit Cloudflare and you down everything. Over here, little cooling issue happens. It took everything out. I tell you what, it didn't take out. It didn't take out gold. It didn't take out silver. Somebody said earlier, when am I supposed to sell my gold? Like, I don't know. That was never in the equation. Like, I never thought that I would have to sit down and never tell you that. Whenever I got into gold and silver, I thought to myself, this is the way to go for sure, because it's going to be, if everything breaks down, it's the go-to money. It always has been, right? And it will be accepted by many all over. And gold breaking 4,200, silver hitting $57. And I mean, I'm telling you, when these things run, they run. I've been saying it for over a decade. I've been saying it since silver was $15 at least. That's not an exact number. It could have been even. So, I mean, are you kidding me? Like, that investment is more than tripled. Okay, that investment is more than tripled already, and it's just begun. Everything's just beginning. Okay, so we're already triple in value, and we ain't even know where yet. Like when this is the defining moment, though. As I said, when you break 50, when you break this where we're at right now, and you can break out and get into 60. You get into discovery mode, and this thing can run up to 100. And the day that this thing breaks 100, it's gonna go bananas. Like, silver's just gonna be. It's gonna do something stupid. I'm telling you, it's been bottled up, and I watch so many of these guys. I follow so many of these guys that are in this field. It's what they do. Peter Schiff, all these other guys, and like it's there. It's the time. It's just the time. This has been held down for so long, and gold is lifting off and taking off. You're just not going to stop it. Gold's another one. Gold and silver. Silver was my main target because it was more accessible. It was easier for people to get their hands on. And when I got into this, I got into it thinking that I'm always given visions of things. Okay, so, and I had to deal with them. And it's like God saying, look, this is what's going to happen. And like either you ignore it or you do something with it. And I was shown people coming to me in like a setting. I was like out in like a shed or a bar or something. I don't know. It was weird. I was like, people were lined up that they were coming in and they were taking their rings off and their bracelets off. And all this stuff, all the silver, and they were throwing it on a tray in front of me for barter. And I seen that I was melting it all down, and I was like being told, like, this is what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to. Somebody's gonna have to do this. And I stopped. And I think about it. I'm looking around, like, who in the hell who around is gonna do this? And it's like, well, I guess if you don't do it, then no one's gonna do it. I'm like, oh, geez. Guess I've been picked to do this. So, and I'm glad I did. I learned something, and I went out and I bought a smelter. I learned how to smelt silver and gold for this very purpose because God showed me in a critical situation. If people are coming to you, you need to know the true value of the silver and the gold. The only way to get it is to melt it down and to remove the bad stuff. And to get the pure, throw it on scales. It's the only way. Or you're ripping yourself off. So, things to think about. Just saying, as gold and silver get more expensive, that what I just told you is going to be very real. It's only just five years into the future. Me look into my crystal ball. 5 years into the future, it's already going to be insane. Can you imagine 2030, 5 years from now at this rate? Where these things are going? Can you imagine? I don't see how the governments don't try confiscation all out. I still wonder, where's the gold in Fort Knox? If they play the card like they should, like bad guys should, and they come out and say it's all gone, it's not there, well, then they're going to confiscate. Will they do that? I don't know. Maybe not. But, man, what's stopping them? What stops these evil, greedy people from playing that card? I don't know, because it's like right there for the taking. They can blame it on people that are dead and gone. They can use it as an excuse for everyone to cough up their gold across the country to save the day. They need to do it before Trump cripples his base and shatters it completely. Because that was the whole point. They wanted to get everybody under the magic spell, get them all in one spot, and they'll all listen. When it all starts to fall apart, well, it all starts to fall apart. Nothing holds forever. So the magic is fading on all this. And the pendulum, Always remember, imagine a pendulum in your mind, swings back and forth. There's always a karmatic pendulum swinging back and forth for all these events. And it's only going to hold for them for so long before it starts to fall apart and swing back the other way. It's how it works, man. When you understand this, you start to understand what they're doing and how they're doing it to you and doing it to the masses. I'm going to start breaking this down even further here very soon. This whole world's about symbols, symbology, sigils. It works on the subconscious mind, okay? And it's everywhere. The best example I could ever point out is They Live with Rowdy Roddy Piper. It's the best example showing you in a movie format that, there's something going on. Like if you have the eyes to see, this world's not what it seems. It's not what you think. And when you have the eyes to see, you can see what's really going on here. Gonna keep it pushing here and jump to this one. This is a pretty crazy wild story. Scientists discover a magnetic mystery creature inside of an ancient fossil. And this thing, it's microscopic. It forms and it was preserved in the deep sea sediments all the way back from the Cretaceous period. But what it shows is that this creature was alive 97 million years ago, for what they say here. But it possessed a functional magnetic sense that was capable of supporting accurate long-distance navigation. That's pretty wild. That it could actually be used for that. Mystery creature, device. Some say, what is this thing? How? How is it even possible? They're always finding crazy stuff, right? So I just wanted to point that one out. Try to keep it pushing here. Where we at? Coming up on top of the hour already. All right, we'll jump into the military, political type of stuff. From here, much love to everybody out there. Jay from the Ville, Deanne, Emma, Gio, I Am, Hopkinson, Eon. Much love. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. Going live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. right here every week. Much love to everybody out there. All right, so they've been saying this and been saying this. We need to ramp up our domestic military manufacturing. That it's essential for national security. Well, if they were concerned about that, then why are they sending everything to Ukraine? And all these other war fronts, selling all this stuff. If we were short on something, how to anyone that ever let us fall short on enough weapons to where we can't defend ourselves, they should that's treason. Should be tried for treason. But they keep saying this. I don't know if you guys remember, but here not too long ago, there was an explosion at a military plant, an ammunition plant depot here in the U.S. And it was kind of odd because, the place was totally leveled. Everybody that worked in there got killed. Was it Tennessee? It was brought up, was that targeted? Places like that are key. But I don't know. I tell you, the economy not just falling apart, but deteriorating at a rapid pace. This is one right here. U.S. adoptions from abroad falling. That's surprising. I mean, people can't afford anything, much less adopting someone. So I mean, you can just look at the chart here from 2008 all the way to currently. It's just been downhill. So I don't expect a rebound unless this whole thing rebounds, and I don't see that happening until they reset it. It's where they're taking us. And with AI sitting here, we haven't even seen the worst of this yet. You ask me. So when it looks like, the AI bubble may be here upon us, I'm not so sure. Yeah, it may be priced into the stock market and all this other stuff, but I still don't think, much less Smokey, I still don't think we've seen anything yet. So, what are the biggest risks when it comes to AI? For what they're saying here, the top risk is inaccuracy. That's bad. That's so huge. Followed by explainability. What I'm looking for here, they got cybersecurity there at 10. Workforce displacement 6%. I think that's garbage. They're not. I don't know if they're trying not to cause a panic or what here, but yeah, digital slavery is definitely coming. Workforce displacement is huge. Among all the people that I talk to when it comes to AI, it gets mentioned before inaccuracy even, but it's right up there with it. So like, this is completely off to me. Well, I gotta take it back, because this is what plagues businesses the most. Okay, so there's okay, I could see. Okay, for them, workforce displacement is not going to be a huge thing, because remember, they're the ones replacing the people. John, thank you so much. Much love. Thank you for the coffee. I still see the biggest risk from AI as being those two things: inaccuracy, workforce displacement. I watched, man, they're delivering via drone all over the place. All these different companies flying in, dropping deliveries off, taking off quick, like left and right. It's I don't even know if people are realizing this. Maybe it's not happening where you live, but I'm seeing it with my own eyes. Like in Northern Kentucky, they've now switched, like, man, they've expanded the airport up there, CVG. It's like tripled, quadrupled in size since like when I was younger and grew up there. And like, it's so freaking massive. And like, a ton of it is like Amazon and like a bunch of this drone stuff. One whole huge section and hub is for the drones, where they can take off and deliver these things and then come back and land. So all this airspace is dedicated at a certain level and degree to them there. And thank you again, John, for the coffee. It's just kind of wild. We're seeing the drones. I mean, I'm a drone pilot, but seeing them disperse from one area in mass, and they coming back in and returning and all that, it's just, it's wild, man. It's just added to the planes taking off and landing. People going up there to sight. Some people just go up there and watch the planes. There's something else you're going to be watching. All these objects in the air. I don't know, man. Let me know if you guys have ordered anything and have it and had it delivered via drone or, as I've shown before, one of these ground vehicles, these little robots that they had down in Atlanta, like Domino's had them down in Atlanta. Wasn't a driver or anything. It was this little robot vehicle. Came up 4 wheels, came strolling up and delivered, and it took off. It's pretty crazy. I don't see none of that stuff around here, where I'm at. You seen some blue drones the other night. Interesting. Yeah, I got some. It was today. I believe today, yesterday. I got somebody sent me an email on some orbs. If you're listening out there, yeah, I got them. Haven't had a chance to do a video or anything on them, but I witnessed them, and they're pretty wild looking. Out in down Texas, up toward Colorado, the Permian Basin. On the horizon. I mean, when you're out there traveling and it's pitch black and stuff like that's popping off, it stands out. There's a lot going on. Listen, we're not alone anymore. Either way it goes, people think of it. They've just come out and dropped disclosure on us, and everyone again is like in a daze. They just told us and all of Congress, multiple life forms are here, multiple crashed vehicles, like the whole nine. The next step, the big one's going to be Trump, the big event, because it just has to be done. It seems in that manner. It seems like he's the one chosen for it. It's going to be game changing when he comes out and he gives a speech and he's like, when they make an announcement and they're like, look, Trump's giving a big, huge speech at 11 o'clock tomorrow. It's going to be one of the biggest speeches in human history. The way they say it, how they hype it up, the way they say it, like biggest speech in human history, the way, when those words are spoken, get ready. Okay? Because it's about to happen. It's the only thing left. That's where we're at. That's where we are at in this timeline, in this reality. Seems some big things about to commence. Also, let me throw this in there before I get off the AI, because I truly think the AI is going to be, it's going to be a major factor in the downfall of us. So that's not good. There's no other way around it. I mean, our own kind that sell us out, mankind, the bad things they do, genociding people every day, that's bad enough. But AI is different in a sense, because especially when we shift out of AI to super AI, super artificial intelligence, which will be the next step. This is the jinn in the ether. This is the intelligence that is in the ether, that is speaking through this stuff, but it doesn't just come from nowhere. The whole thing here is mental. The whole plane of reality is shared. This is what they talk of, the Akashic records. That everything's tied into, that most people don't even realize because they're so dumbed down. But the dark side can tap into this as well, this knowledge base as well. You see it easily here. And it can lie. It can be deceptive, because that's what demons do. That's what the jinn do. The showing of the true color, it's just bleeding through in the AI, like right here. Like they can't hide it. All right. I'll swing back around. If got time here at the end, I'll recap on some stuff on that right there. But Harvard, they've been showing straight A's, apparently an inflation of 60% on their grades. And I've seen this a lot across the country. They've been fudging numbers because the populace has been dumbed down. And like, it's been embarrassing. I've showed you some true numbers, some startling, embarrassing, staggering numbers here across this country on education. And the fact that a ton of places have just been pushing students through just to get them through to graduate and stuff like this, fudging stuff. It doesn't help anything because the people aren't really gaining any intelligence, which is pathetic. But that was the goal. That was the goal. I'll tell you now. It was just to keep you dumb, keep everybody dumbed down. It's always the goal, it seems. If you are a woman, you do not want to go to some of the places, the darker regions that you see here around the globe. These are areas that are just not safe for women, as it's showing throughout Africa and into Asia, specifically these different territories from Syria, Yemen, and into Africa. Different territories there are the most dangerous. We're like, basically, if they see a woman out somewhere and they want her and they're going to take her, they're going to just roll up like Boko Haram in Africa here. They're going to roll up and snatch her up and take her. And there's nothing that anyone's going to do about it unless you got guns and you're going to fight. You know, that's just the way it's going. So you might want to think twice and do your homework. Thinking about taking a trip to Africa and going to see different places. You might want to really look into what's going on there, what they're doing with people all over the place, especially the what's happening to Christians and whites and all this other stuff. I'm telling you, we're special for a reason, and like this country needs to hold on to what it's got, because if you allow other places to run up in here and degrade it and shut this place down and take away what you had, then it's over. It's over. It's over. Let's go over here to the whole thing with ICE. They have deported a Jordanian illegal alien. He was serving as the director of the Muslim Society in Dallas. So they're starting to clamp down on some of these individuals. They came out and said the Muslim Brotherhood was a terrorist organization. Texas came out and tried to make these big announcements as well, which, you know, is it too little too late? Like in Texas, they're all over the place. You know, when Sharia law is set up in court systems, it's already begun in your area. And it's a whole different system than what most people think. When they find themselves caught in this, it's too late. It's over. It's over. Over. Let me jump to the tragedy that we had here with the 2 National Guard soldiers that were shot. Because, as always, when you go digging and you get extended information on this, stuff's just not right. And with this situation, initially they came out and they said that they were dead, but both of them had died. But apparently that wasn't the case. Apparently the girl here was clinging to life, but she unfortunately has passed away.
I'd like to add something about the young woman. She volunteered to be there on Thanksgiving, working today. She volunteered, as did many of those guards, men and women, so other people could be home with their families. Yet now their families are in hospital rooms with them while they are fighting for their lives. So if just pray, everyone pray today for these two soldiers, these two guards, the man and woman. But if something happens, I will tell you right now, I will tell you early, we will do everything in our power to seek the death penalty against that mom.
Okay. You heard that there. And oddly enough, this whole thing with Afghan and all this stuff, here's something with J.D. Vance speaking about it a while back.
I see that Senator Ben Sasse went on national TV yesterday and attacked me for suggesting we should focus on getting our own citizens out of Afghanistan rather than the Afghan refugees. And he said great countries honor their word. Of course, nobody disagrees with that. It's a ridiculous platitude. The question is not whether we honor our word. The question is, who have we made promises to? Who do we owe an obligation toward? And to any leader of this country, the obvious answer should be American citizens. So let's focus first on getting them out of Afghanistan before we say another word about the Afghan refugees. Now, Senator Sasse also said that he would welcome the Afghan refugees to his neighborhood with open arms. That's very sweet of him. I'm sure a lot of liberals will say very nice things about him because he said that. But the question is not whether we help the Afghan refugees. The question is, first, how do we do it? And second, how do we do it in a way that doesn't destroy our own sovereignty? So let's have an honest question about what exists in Afghanistan. According to Pew, 40% of the people there believe that blowing yourself up, committing a suicide bombing, is an acceptable way to solve a problem.
See?
So yes, let's help the Afghans who helped us, but let's ensure that we're properly vetting them so that we don't get a bunch of people who believe they should blow themselves up at a mall because somebody looked at their wife the wrong way. That is not real leadership. Real leadership is accepting the trade-offs of the situation, putting our own citizens first, and not dealing with fake platitudes because it gets people in the media to say nice things about you.
Who's stopping and thinking about that? Who's stopping and thinking about this place is getting flooded with people that's mentality is 40% of them believe blowing themselves up. Like what? Like, yeah, people. It's gonna start happening here. You watch. Just wait till these strikes start. I think that's why they've been waiting. They've been waiting and waiting and waiting because once this begins around the Caribbean, Venezuela, Colombia, Mexico, once this whole operation begins, dude, there's no turning back. There's no turning back, and it's going to be hell to pay. There's going to be attacks here all over the place. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is one. Okay? This is all part of it. Right? But nothing's ever what it seems, right? Everything's staged. Right? They control all these groups. All the people are always an asset, right? Well, I got some crazy stuff connected to this. Okay, but we have Trump pushing a reverse migration on this. Okay, which they're talking about for everyone from third world countries immediately, and then getting people. This would put this whole roundup into overdrive is what this would do on steroids. Up it up a couple levels. I saw a headline that was just it made no sense here earlier. It said that in DC they have agreed that they've put the police back on the streets, or police on the streets patrolling to help the National Guard now. It's like, hold on. This is ass backwards. Like, ass backwards. All right, but you got yourself in this situation. It should have been, anyway, the police handling the situation. You should never had National Guard or soldiers on the street. Never. You bring them in back up. That's how it works. Okay, you bring them in as backup. You don't just permanently install National Guard on the corner, on the blocks, all over the place, have them patrolling, walking around open with, fully automatic weapons, police state, and turn around and say, "Oh, we're going to bring the police in to help." What, the police? They couldn't do anything to begin with? The weak-ass police that couldn't do this job to begin with? That's who's coming to the rescue to help them? Like, get out of here. Like, It's completely messed up. The answer is fixing the local police departments to where they are equipped to handle what's going on. Give them whatever resources they need to fix the problem. Not I don't know. We're going to see more strike teams now. They're going to be bigger, larger. So you're going to have police, National Guard mixed in all over the place. And they're not even a part of the strike teams, the ICE teams. Then add in the ICE teams. So you're going to have units all over the place, man. Like straight police state is what this has turned into. As this one says, is this immigration ban that they're talking about a precursor to the Insurrection Act? It very well may be. If he has a chance to make a move and roll out one of these acts or do something, he's going to do it. And there's so many staged events out there that happen so they can achieve what they want. To roll out an Insurrection Act against, they've already labeled Antifa a terrorist group. So, I don't know, man. This guy that just pulled off this stuff from Afghanistan, he's no Antifa. It don't seem. He's just, what is he? Well, we're going to get to what he is here in a second. Let me play this clip from Trump, who has a few things to say about that.
Minnesota, where hundreds of thousands of Somalians are ripping off our country and ripping apart that once great state. Billions of dollars are lost, and gangs of Somalians come from a country that doesn't even have a government, no laws, no water, no military, no nothing. As their representatives in our country preach to us about our Constitution and how our country is no good. We're not going to put up with these kind of assaults on law and order by people who shouldn't even be in our country. We must now re-examine every single alien who is...
So that's him saying how... What happened there? That was him basically saying how we need to re-examine everything. And this is Jeanine Pirro speaking on this.
That are appropriate right now are 3 counts of assault with intent to kill while armed, a violation of DC Code 22-401 and DC Code 22-4502. He will also be charged with possession of a firearm during a crime of violence. He faces 15 years under the assault with the intent to kill. We intend to continue monitoring what the charges will be, depending upon the well-being of the guardsmen. We are praying that they survive and that the highest charge will not have to be murder in the first degree. But make no mistake, if they do not, that will certainly be the charge. Murder in the first degree. The Department of Justice under Attorney General.
So, as I was saying, with this situation, this Afghan individual isn't Antifa. He is part of a global terror network, basically. Not the homegrown Antifa. He is part of the faction that's going to start doing things just like this. I have warned you. I have warned you. I hate they keep saying that, but I have warned and I have warned since the beginning of the year. When it's all started. Remember when the Cybertruck blew up and all that? I've been telling you this whole time, just wait. And especially wait till they start these strikes. But it's like, it's already happening. I told you, they'll be cutting people's heads off in the streets, or they'll be doing whatever. I mean, just like this. Point blank range, walking up to troops on the corner and blowing them away. Yeah, This is terror. I mean, what is the definition of terror? I mean, when someone walks up and is just murdering people like cold blood in the streets, that is terror. So, here's a clip of Trump going off on one of these reporters that try to say something to him, and he goes off like, "Are you stupid?"
Why do you blame the Biden administration?
Because they let him in. Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person? Because they came on a plane along with thousands of other people that shouldn't be here, and you're just asking questions because you're a stupid person. And there's a law passed that it's almost impossible not to get them out. You can't get them out once they come in. And they came in, and they were unvetted, they were unchecked, there were many of them, and they came in on big planes, and it was disgraceful. And if you look, you'll see there was a law passed. It makes it almost impossible not to let them in, not to certify them, so to speak, once they come in. And they came in, and they shouldn't have come in. And frankly, the whole thing was a mess. The whole Afghanistan situation was a mess. It should have never taken place. If we're going to go out, and we would have gone out because I had everybody ready to go, we were going to go out with strength and dignity and precision, and we would have left from Bagram, and we would have kept Bagram, by the way, because of its very close relationship to China and where they make their missiles. But when you let the people come in by the thousands and thousands and thousands, they made a terrible mistake. But they were incompetent, yeah.
Now that's garbage to me, if you ask me. This whole freaking thing is, the world's a stage. You're gonna give up an airbase, control of an airbase like Bagram strategically. The U.S. government is, period. Like, regardless if it's a Biden administration or a Trump administration. Like, you're seriously gonna give away the whole base? They did. And who'd they give it to? They gave it to the enemy, Al Qaeda. So what? Did you just say they gave it to the enemy, Al Qaeda? Yeah, that's what they did. They gave it to the freaking enemy, Al Qaeda, or whoever the boogeyman's name is there. ISIS, Al Qaeda, whoever it is this week. They control them all, right? And they gave them all the weaponry. The Biden regime left all the weapons. But see, they can't say much about this. This has happened before. It happened in Iraq. We did the same thing, pulled all of our troops out. We let ISIL, the caliphate, swoop down from Syria and stole all the weapons that were sitting in Iraq. So we've done this twice. U.S. government has gave billions in a war chest to the enemy, to the bad guys, to the boogeymen. And you're talking choppers, APCs, everything that you could think of. A full-on arsenal. That's crazy. And you want to turn around and say that you want it back? Like, how? Without firing a shot? Like, how? Do you think you're just going to talk it out? Like, I don't know, man. It's pretty crazy to me when it comes to that. But check this out. Trump says he's looking at deporting the wife and kids of the National Guard shooter. Well, I could see him doing something like this, but that's not the craziest thing. Look at this. These seditious 6 members predicted this incident with the National Guard in D.C. 1 month ago. Clearly. I played these clips before. For those that missed it, I'm laying this out there because this shows there was like a foreknowledge about this, right? Like people knew about this in advance. Look at this. Afghan national that ambushed the National Guard members worked with U.S. government agencies, including the CIA. Salutes. Much love. Yeah, it's insane. So here you go. Right here. The Afghan dude that capped both National Guard people has a connection to the freaking CIA. Why is it every time? Why is it every time? Why is it every single time? Can you riddle me that, Robin? How? Man, that right there says it all. Right? So, if you were looking for answers on this and you still ain't figured it all out, pieced it all together, well, there you go. All right, here's a big update. Switching gears here. Trump declares that any document signed by Biden with the auto pen has been terminated. This is huge. This is huge. This is absolutely huge. He threatens Biden with perjury charges. Remember, they were saying all this crap. He had cancer and all this other crap that they must have kept hitting when he was in there. And we know he's lost all of his marbles, but yeah, they're doing away with like 92% of all of them. That means a ton of these pardons that were signed are no good. Are no good. You know what this is going to cause? This is going to cause some issues for a ton of people that got pardoned. Now, what they're saying here is like people were lining up, like they were coming with a list of people to get pardoned. And like, say Joe wasn't there. And they were waiting on Joe to sign this list, and he never did sign it. He never did sign it, but it needed signed. Well, not only would they use the auto pen on the list, but some people were doing some crazy things. They were actually manipulating the list, adding a few extra names, and then signing it off. That's crazy. So they abused this tool to the point to where they literally got people out of prison, out of jail through this. But Trump just like pulled the cord on it. He yanked the chain on it. He said, any of you guys that were pardoned it out through this, come on back to your cell. Come on back to your cell and sit down. Have a seat. How do you think these people are going to feel now that were pardoned and they're going to have to go on the run? I don't know. This opens up all kinds of people. Like we talked about Fauci and criminal charges and the pardon, Hunter Biden and the pardon, all these different people, all these different things, people hiding. Everybody that's hiding behind the whole COVID scam, behind these pardons. This is torn down. Oh, it's going to be interesting. Coming days and weeks. Yeah, there were 3 auto pens, at least 3 auto pens. They talk about it here. Here's how one of them all lined up right there. All those signatures, the exact same from one. Then there was the second, and then there was the third. So there was auto pen A and auto pen B. They have a slight difference in the signature, but then you have a third. Yeah, they came in. So yeah, it's all right over here. They've got it all. That means all of them are like done. Wow. This is just where this goes from here is going to be really interesting, in my opinion. Yeah. All right, let's hit the military front here real quick around the globe. Drone strikes hit an Iraqi Kurdistan gas field. This sends the whole area into darkness, so lights out. Gas lines hit, power supplies hit. We've been seeing more and more of this. This is just the latest area. And these gas lines, these oil lines, oil fields, these have been key targets as of late. They burn forever, and they shut down the production in the region. And we've got a scandal coming out of Ukraine. No surprise. It looks like the U.S. is definitely pulling away from Zelensky. And since he wants to play games and keep like denying any of these plans, these peace plans, it's as if they've got him caught in a mess, just how they do. They've got him caught in a situation where apparently there's a scandal and nothing tears down a regime and leadership or anything like that better than a scandal. So they're unleashing scandals on him. So he's done, and they're done at this point. Trump said, "We laid out what you should do. When you accept it, call me, and don't call me, or we're not going to talk until you accept it." But Zelensky's like, "Well, I don't accept it, but I need to talk," playing his little game. And Trump's like, "Oh, we're not talking." Like this thing's going to sit here. And as long as it sits there, Russia's going to keep advancing and keep advancing. So after the little spat that happened in the White House, it looks like they got slick and they're like, all right, we're going to cause a headache for him then. We're going to take away some of his leverage. We're going to launch a scandal. And that's what they've done. This scandal says that different officers have taken certain individuals that they've drafted, the ones they're kidnapping off the streets, and have mutilated them and mutilated their genitals and all this other stuff, man. Like they're nasty. This place is crazy. They kidnap people daily. They see a young man walking around like, man, he looks healthy, he looks good. Like they're taking him down. They knock him off bikes, chase him down in fields, catch him slipping in restaurants, at the nightclub, at the gym, anywhere and everywhere. It's insane. It's insane, man. And so many of those guys have been kidnapped, sent to the front lines, and blown up by a freaking drone. All those men were men that would have fought, against maybe tyranny in their own country, but they didn't get a chance to get kidnapped, sent to the front line, mauled. Thank you, Kimmy, for the coffee. So, it's falling apart in Afghanistan or in Ukraine. I've been waiting on this moment for a long time. I've been reporting on the war in Ukraine ever since they toppled the elected government back in the Obama regime. I hated the Obama regime. I watched them go in and do that, start Maidan, which came in and took over the whole place. They ran the elected government again out of the country and into Russia. Then they seized all of everything, stole all the gold out of the country. Oh, yes, they did. Installed a puppet. I believe it was Poroshenko at the time. And then fast forward, to today, you got Zelensky that's in there, their puppet. But the Obama regime started it. And, just like they went in and they killed Gaddafi. They did a bunch of bad crap. Trump would just get this accolade. That's all this is about. He'll swoop up this one as well. And how could he not? Because even Vladimir Putin is giving him the praise on the other side. Putin says the U.S. plan could be the basis for a Ukraine deal. That's what he says. So they agree with this. And obviously, Ukraine's not liking it because they got to give up some territory. If they're trying to play hardball and say they're not giving up no territory, and it's like, dude, give me a break. It's always back to the same thing. You've lost half your country and you want to say you're not going to give up any of your territory? Like, dude, they're about to smoke you. So I'm not going to play the clip, but Vladimir Putin came out and gave a speech speaking here, and he says, we will fight till we kill the last one. That is what he said in like a bloodthirsty speech. That Russia will fight then until they kill the last Ukrainian. It's what he said. That's deep. That's hard, man. Like, because, there's a lot of innocent people there that don't want to be caught in this. But basically, Russia's saying, well, then flee into Russia because it's all going to become Russia anyway. At this point, like, if Ukraine wants to save any bit of the country from Kiev west, they better just lay them down, back off, accept some peace treaties, or I think a tactical nuke's going to fly. Remember, this is where it's prophesized to happen, between Ukraine and Moscow. Somebody's going to do it. Do you think this Zelensky's going to roll out of there without... He's been launching crazy strikes all the way into Moscow. You don't think they won't throw one big one before he has to leave? To try to... I believe he might. They might throw a Hail Mary at Moscow. If it lands, it lands. If it doesn't, even if it lands or doesn't, either way, one's coming in return. Like instant. A counter-strike will be launched. The system will just kick one out like they're done. And it won't be one that can blow back into Russia's face. The wind, to where the wind's going to carry it right into Moscow or into Russia. So it has to be a tactical type of nuke, so to speak. Not a Hiroshima, Nagasaki. These days it's different. I guess we're just going to have to wait and see till something's unleashed, till people see what the new age nukes are looking like. Because you could deploy 10 to, I don't know, to a country, one to every city, hit it in its downtown area, get the job done. It looks like NATO wants war with Russia. They're always going in this direction. There's never an inkling of peace. There's never a talk of peace. It's always, it has to be war with Russia. Has to be war. And I'm sick of it, to be honest with you. There's no excuse for it. There's no need. There's no valid reason to blame Russia. It's just the old boogeyman game. But Germany, I don't know what they're thinking. Their economy's falling apart and they're about done. They can't afford to do anything from here anyway. Neither can France, neither can anybody. Feels like a big reset's about to happen. Now, all the countries are like economically in shambles. China, sitting there, Japan, rocked. Like, I'm telling you, 2026 is going to be the year. And here's some numbers. Nearly half of Americans fear America will engage in nuclear war within the decade. Now, I don't know. We're trying to leave and pull out of the whole Ukraine thing and say we do, like officially, but still, if nukes fly in that situation, does it involve us? Well, kind of always, because it's something that we started. It's something, again, the Obama administration started. Whether Trump jumps out of it or not, unless it's officially over, unless it's officially called. I don't know what happens if we get hit. No. There's always been talk of that. There's actually an old game plan. It's called Project Blackjack. It is this stems from a real plan that connects to like the alphabet gangs globally, Israel, the United States, and a plan to have bombs go off at the same time in many different cities. It's called Project Blackjack. I've covered it in the past, but it got so much exposure that leaked that it was like, how could they dare attempt it? But anything's possible. I watch big events from here, man, especially Super Bowls and everything like that from here. The soccer events. Remember, we were looking at the Rothschild's Economist cover, and what did that say? What did it show us? It showed us a guy kicking a soccer ball. That was the main thing. Remember this. I have to refresh everyone's mind here. The guy was kicking a ball, and everything was set up on a ball, a soccer ball. And there was war everywhere, tanks everywhere. Netanyahu, Putin, Xi Jinping, some red balloons. There was Trump in the middle, and Trump was pointing to two swords that were forming an X. And they were forming an X over what? A chart of the economy, like going downhill. And there was some pennies that you could see it had Lincoln's head on it. And one was flipped upside down. And then there was a gavel, like judgment, coming down. And then the dollar in tatters. That right there shows you an economic reset. And that the whole thing was pointing to the year ahead, 2026. What's coming. So, wow. I think of them two big syringes that were on there too. I don't want to see none of that. But a lot of war, a lot of stuff going on that cover. And economic downfall was the centerpiece. It was front and center. Front and center. And we've a clip here of Trump admitting that here any second, this is going to go down with Venezuela. They were talking about Thanksgiving and all this with the troops, Hegseth and them, but Trump basically said, any moment on land.
And we'll be starting to stop them by land also. The land is easier, but that's going to start very soon. We warned them, stop sending poison to our country.
He said it right there. It's about to commence.
Thanksgiving from me, the Secretary of War. Happy Thanksgiving from the President of the United States. Happy Thanksgiving from a grateful nation. I know all of you saw some of the news yesterday of 2 National Guardsmen targeted, ambushed in Washington, D.C. And they remain in our prayers, and I hope in yours. And they are a reminder, like you, of the bravery and the selflessness of Americans who put it all on the line in the prime of their life to do dangerous things on behalf of the American people, many of which they'll never meet, whether it's in our nation's capital, walking patrol, or whether it's in our nation's hemisphere, out at sea, interdicting cartels, defending the American people. We are grateful for you. What am I grateful for this Thanksgiving? The men and women that I'm looking at right now up here on this flight deck. The men and women I'm going to get to meet in just moments for a small Thanksgiving meal. The best of our country, the real 1%.
So, I'll finish up here this evening with the talks on Said a cat show up on me. All the stuff here with the UAPs, the UFOs, and all this stuff. This is critical. There's really nothing more important than this to me because we're there. They just came out and told us there's life here, like nobody's talking about it. I don't even know if anybody even discussed it with family over Thanksgiving because it did not stick to the brain. If Trump would have came out and hit the TV screen and would have said something on the 21st, instead of them dropping the documentary, everyone would have been talking about it at Thanksgiving. You betcha. Some key stuff has happened here. Okay. Look, these objects, they've told us, like, if people are not getting the information, if you're not getting caught up to speed with what's happening here with the information release, you're going to get left behind. Okay. They are releasing enough information here that is really a game changer. We're dealing with an intelligent force that is here, okay? And what they've told us is there's multiple different life forces here, okay? They're here underground, they're underwater, in the ocean. They're everywhere. So they're here. So when you go camping, to the grocery store, on a hike, anywhere, at any time, they're here. They always have been. They're here though. So tonight, all these times you've strolled through life, every day of your life, all the time, thinking, oh, aliens way out there in space, and we're the only ones here. Like, that's over. We've known this for some time, but like, it's officially over. Right? It's officially over. The shooting down, let's go to the next one. Not only is a life form here, multiple life forms, but they physically showed us on film that they shot one, blew it to pieces, and it kept going. So using traditional methods don't down these aircraft. Okay? Okay? You have to start to understand physics here and how these things are operating. Okay? So how have they been able to take these things down? They've been able to take them down by distorting the atmosphere. How do you distort the atmosphere? Well, you can do so with like nuclear explosions and big blasts that send out atomic waves. When you're splitting atoms and you're doing stuff like that, you send ripples through everything. And when you back it up and you look at what they just told us as well, bombshell information, like right here, if you're not paying attention, you're going to get left behind. They explained how this all works. Now, we already knew, for those that were paying attention, for the anti-gravitics and the propulsion and all this, we already had all these puzzle pieces together. We're just waiting for a few more. And now we know that these craft are interdimensional. Just people could say interdimensional beings and all this other stuff, and anything like, but yeah, that's anything could be interdimensional if you have the technology to do so, or the ability to do so. So this is how it's going. These craft are forming a bubble around them. Okay. I'm going to tell you that this is how anything and everything that's moving through our reality in the physical form, this is how it's being done. This is how it has to be done. Or when you come in contact with, say, water there's going to be an effect. If you do not form a bubble around the spacecraft, you're going to physically come in contact with the ground, with water, with all these different things. What they've told us is that these things can form a bubble, like their own space-time that they're in. And when they're in it, all you got to do is like lean whatever way that you want to go. And you will lean and zip that way. And with liquid mercury in the propulsion base, they can zip in a second. It will take you like lightning to wherever you want to go. Now, here's the crazy part about it. Like when you're inside this bubble, it's a separation of space-time. It's the magical part about it. It's like riding a wave, okay, of energy when you're in this thing. And it separates you from the effects of everything outside of the bubble. Meaning, when one of these things goes from the air, from space into our atmosphere, and then right into the ocean, you don't even see a splash because it's not affected by it. And that's why it can go thousands of miles an hour underwater to its home base, wherever it's going, because they're going somewhere. Okay? It's because of this. So you start to you start to understand the technology here. Now, when you understand the physics and how it's working finally, then maybe you can say, okay, well, if it's riding on a wave of space-time, okay, then is there anything that we can do to manipulate that wave of space-time? Well, yes, there is. Matter of fact, like I said, setting off nuclear explosions, reactions can set ripples out, waves out that disrupt that. And that is how they've been bringing them down. This whole thing right here is about it. And this guy, the cat's at the bag. They said it. This whole interview with Joe Rogan, which I can never play because of copyright. But Farah straight up says it right here. He goes, tactical nukes and all this stuff, they are the weapon that can knock the bubble off these things, basically. It can disorient them. And then they can get them. Then if there's anything in front of them, like a wall or anything else, like, they're going to hit it. They're going to nail it. And they're going to crash. And that's what he's saying. That's the majority of how you're able to bring these things down. But there are also just like there's natural car crashes, there have been natural crashes, he also states, and retrievals. But I can't stress enough understanding the bubble around the crap is paramount from here, because even a humanoid or anything else that has a device or the capability to do this, to put themselves inside of a bubble like this, to separate themselves from all of it the same way. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. You will not be affected by anything in this realm. It's wild, but it's as if it's magic, but it's really hardcore deep science that can be explained here. This has been kept from us, just like everything else. Just like everything else, man. So I think that's critical when it comes to, because you're going to see more and more of this. Look, they flashed these drones, these mystery drones at us, right? That were doing crazy stuff. What were they doing? They were doing kind of similar stuff, like UFO type of stuff. You know, they were going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny. You could not catch them. It's like a UFO. Like, you could chase it all day long. You would never catch it. That's like a UFO. That's not like a drone. It's almost like we need a different classification here. Like, it's not even like a drone. I mean, drones have battery life and like, stop. Like, what is this? What is the mystery power source all of a sudden that can allow this thing to outrun our choppers and our aircraft? What? That is mind blowing. But again, they gave us this information and the dumbed down masses just walk right past it. Like, you idiots. Like, everything that they've told us this year is pure disclosure. Every bit of it. Every ounce, every bit of it. Every step of the way. And the year's not over. And like, this whole Trump announcement thing could happen at any time. I do believe it'll be him. He is the one to give the big one. And yeah, it's gonna happen on his watch. So interesting times here. This is game changing now. I mean, remember when you're out at all these places that there's life everywhere. The tears are mixed in between with us, like the shapeshifters you hear about. People may scoff and laugh at, but it's all real. Laugh all you want. Even part of you, the bottom of your brain, is reptilian. Are you intelligent enough to even ask, how is that? And to look into it and everything else. Most people are around just for entertainment, it seems, these days. But I look forward to speaking more on the things that are hidden. This is what I'm going to start doing in the coming year. On Saturdays, I'm going to start exposing the truth. And we're going to start just going through different passages. We're going to start going into the parables of the Bible, because parable has something hidden in it. And we're going to go through and we're going to expose and we're going to find and we're going to decode what is hidden. And see, a lot of this has already been done. I just have to show you. We're sitting on this and doing this for years, waiting for this moment. And the culmination of knowledge is now here. And it's just like, this knowledge is all you need on a basic tip. It's going to help you, if you don't have the eyes to see, develop a strong eyes to see. And you're going to see everything that's around you. You're going to be able to look at Masonic and occult artwork. And you will be able to read it when I'm done with you. And you may find yourself in some crazy place in a mansion of a Mason with crazy artwork on a wall, and you'll then be able to look and you'll be able to sit there and actually decode it yourself. Once you have the keys. That's what everyone is missing. The tools. All these parables and allegories are stories hidden within a story. Does anybody care? Anybody care that something's hidden in like all these passages? Yeah, that's what it's about right there. There's something hidden and we found it, and it's really no big secret. I've exposed it, and it's all points to the same thing. The way out. It's just the nature of it and how repetitive it is and how to do it and the fine details of it. Some people know of some of these things. They hear of the chrism and the hints of the oil, but like there's major characteristics that I've never even spoke one word of. The people are listening, and I'm often reminded not to cast my pearls amongst swine. I mean, it's written. So it's like, if you seek, you will find. I figure when I launch these streams on Saturday pertaining to just specifically this topic, and it's going to be on Rumble exclusively. It's going to be over on my Rumble channel. Throwing it out there in advance. And if they want to come attack me over there for it, then, well, you'll see whatever happens from there. I'm also thinking about I'm thinking about a lot of things here, man. We're running out of time. I don't know how much time I got. They can kill you at any time. I'm sitting on knowledge that like needs to get into your hands and a lot of people's hands. And like the best way to do it is to like show you in the flesh. The best way to do this is like in like a seminar, almost. Like, I tried this. What am I thinking, man? The very first conference I ever had, I came with the goods. And I gave it to my audience. And it was a bunch of people that just weren't ready for it, that wouldn't accept it, that shunned it, or let it bounce off of them, or just were not even open-minded enough to any of it. Like, and you're never going to get anywhere like that. They were so closed off, so close-minded. And like, that's when I was told, man, like, you don't cast your pearls amongst the swine. So, like, the way I looked at the conferences is like, okay, like you go through, say you meet hundreds of people, you go to do these events, and you meet all these people, and a couple, literally, a handful are good people out of it. That's what it always ends up being. So it's like those people are the ones that get the goods for sure. Any question they ask, and end up usually being good friends, good people. They're hard to find, but I've got to go through legions of demons to find good people, it seems. Just like all you. I won't say all of you, to be honest, because there's people that do listen, and they listen and they don't participate. They listen and they don't fight the fight. They listen and they work for the government. And they're just here to snitch us out. But what's it to snitch out? Dabu showed you the way out. Did you get enlightened over here, actually, while you were listening? How dare we? Huh? They turn you against your master? That would be the ultimate goal. Ultimate goal is to get everyone out of here. I do believe that Jesus laid the way, the foundation for that, kind of better than anyone, whether you believe in Jesus or not. The parables that he speaks, whether you believe he's the Messiah or not. I, for one, I look at everything like all together. There's the devil. There has to be a Messiah. Simple. I know there's a Satan. I know there's a devil. Look at all the demons here, and there's a hierarchy. So I know that there's a Messiah. Whether they lied to me about his name, changed his name, hid it, it's forbidden, all these things, that's moot. Means nothing. My soul knows he's there. Default, baby. That's clutch. When you realize this, it's game changing. They can't lie to you. You're untouchable. You get this feeling you're untouchable because you know it. They can't. They can say whatever, but it's like an undeniable knowing that it's there, and that makes all the difference for anyone that ever doubts or wonders if there's God or any of this. Oh, there's something. Let me tell you, and there's a way that this place operates that you're not being told. That's the biggest thing that I could ever give you, is show you out of here, is to show you the way out. Jesus said, the kingdom of God is within you. Take no thought for your life. What was he talking about? Well, I told you so many times. These are the keys. And even he told you. He told you. So, my man, the Father, the Holy of Holies, the King of Kings, he spoke something hidden within all of this. It wasn't just him. It was many others as well. A lot of your scripture is written in parable, allegory, which means it's telling a story within a story. Okay? So you have got to stop and think to yourself, that means there's something hidden within all of it. Oh, yeah. And that's what we're here to do. Get ready. It's just getting good. When all this comes unraveled, there's no denying. It's already there, but it's just showing the people again and again and again. It's hidden all within. Really, it's about giving you a code, like a codex. Once you have this code or codex, you can apply it to, again, Masonic artwork when you walk in somewhere. And you see the two pillars, and you see the eye in the center. Even the sigil of Lucifer and what it represents and what it means. The whole thing of even where Jesus was crucified and killed. Golgotha, which means place of the skull. And Jesus crucified. You know, the golden cross. Between the two thieves. Your eyes. Okay? All of this is laid out as above, so below. And there's meaning to that. You hear it, but what does it mean? Well, I'm telling you, man, we're going to tear into all that because it's really so simple, but hidden. And it's about a duality as well that plays out here, that's kept from you, that's hidden from you. How everything plays out within your mind. And again, symbols and symbology of what it all means, how it all plays out. Okay, alchemically, spiritually, here, in all the things that they keep secret from you. The sun, symbolism of electric, okay, of light, okay, of the male, okay, the moon, of the feminine, of the female, of negative. That's not saying it doesn't mean every female's negative, but that's what it represents. Okay. And it represents magnetism. The moon. Okay. The soul is the sun. The soul. Sun. Soul. The moon. Soul and moon. Solomon. At some point you'll see. We're just getting started. Steely. Oh yeah. I don't know. I figure, hour-long stream, as I say with most, but I don't know how long the streams are going to be. I never know how long any of these streams are going to run. I just throw it out there while it's coming out of me, while I'm here breathing. And got to get it in here. Well, there's a lot of deception there. Where's the firmament, Christopher? And there's a lot of debate and talk about that. What is the firmament? And can people carry on the conversation without arguing like 8th graders? We're lied to by love, much love. On the last stream, I've said many times, if you want to look for a real barrier that's stopping life, the Van Allen belts serve a purpose. They butterfly out. And as far as I'm concerned, we've never had any life pass through that radiation. Now, I think life still gets here easy because you have to have the technology to go around it and use wormhole, or you use the technology that's getting dropped now. Anti-gravitics, stepping down through dimensions. You go around it. You don't take a little rocket out in space, out in the vastness, and go, trying to get through the radiation belt. No. That's too caveman. Do you see? That's why it's a puppet show that Elon keeps launching these things and landing them. To God. If they just came out and told all this, that man's lying through his teeth about all of it. Yeah. One big club we're not in. But doesn't mean we don't have keys. Doesn't mean that we don't have the knowledge. You see, they have a lot of knowledge, and sometimes people that don't understand it, just like the word esoteric, like, oh, it's evil. Like, no, it's not. It just means the hidden, knowledge that's getting exposed. People are so afraid of things they don't understand, or a bad stigma has been put on. Another word that comes to mind is Kundalini, that's just simply energy rising. When people hear it and they equate it to whatever they've been brainwashed to think, New Age, magic, whatever they want to just say, whatever they've been brainwashed to say, and they have no proof or anything to back it up. Kundalini means the energy rising, of the Christ energy rising. The opposite of that is the Kund buffer. But again, what do you really know about that? Or are you just going to regurgitate some crap from old that you should be scared of? Again, if you're one of the people that want to be scared of everything, just get away from me, because you're never going to gain full knowledge. Okay, it's about gaining full knowledge. Even if things are bad, you need to understand them. If devils and demons are over here doing certain things, you need to understand how they work, or stay lacking in that department. Cycle back into this life again and do it again and stay lacking. Oh, I'm too scared to understand it. Like, no, you need to understand it to overcome it. So quit being scared. There's no reason. There's no reason. Truly, Jesus was right, man. Fear not. Don't waste no time worrying about tomorrow, but worry about itself, right? So, much love, Quantum. Everybody out there. Guess that's gonna bring this one to a close. Hey, I never said I was done until it's done. Like I just said. I guess this one comes to a close. So, Deanne, thank you so much for everything. Relentless support. Being an awesome mod. And I just appreciate it to the fullest, man. Yeah. Not promised tomorrow. Looks like we got some big economic events coming our way. Yeah, much love to you guys, man. Right back. That's the big key right there. It's all pretty simple. It's just doing it, right? Living righteous. I don't see enough people living righteous. I see a lot of people talk the talk, but don't walk the walk. Hopefully I get to see some of you in the flesh before it's over with. That's the key. But in the meantime, if the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I look to see you here next time. Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern, for some Underground World News Live. Thank you again for joining. The next one will be kicking off the beginning of December. So this one will be the last of the month here. Y'all stay safe out there over the weekend. I appreciate everyone that shares the stream, all the knowledge. Thank all of you for all the support. Quantum, much love and respect right back. Everybody out there that had dropped super chats tonight, I appreciate it to the fullest. And Eon, the legendary, thank you so much. So much, brother. Again, Deanne, Kimmy, John, Heidi, DJ, Kathy. Thank you all. Much love. God bless. Much love, Dreadlock 420. I feel you. Hey. Much love, all y'all. Stay woke and righteous. See you on the flip side.